Let me know if this resonates with you. No matter how many courses you take, conferences you attend, people you consult with, questions you ask for help, it feels like you just keep running the same loop over and over. It's kind of like that Scooby-Doo episode where Shaggy and Scooby-Doo end up at the same spot that they started leaving at. So you're running the same 6-month doom loop of repeat, and you never get to what you truly want. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to get whatever it is that you want specifically. That's the problem a lot of people have, is they do not specify. We need specificity when it comes to getting whatever it is that you want. And want is reason enough. You don't have to explain it. You don't have to frame it. All you have to do is claim it, okay, specifically. And there's a way you can hijack the brain to do this. You see, the brain works with this thing called the RAS. Maybe some of you know what this is, but some of you may be asking, what is RAS? It's the reticular activating system. Now, what is the reticular activating system? Well, it's kind of like the drawbridge that allows information into your brain that's important to you, and it filters out things that are not important to you. If I had to put this in a picture, your unconscious mind is kind of like a castle. And around that castle is a moat. And in the castle, you have a drawbridge. And then you have 3 snipers named D, G, and D. And I know who you're asking, who are D, G, and D? I'll explain that in a minute. So your reticular activating system, how our brain works is it processes unconsciously about 11 to 13 million bits of information per second. Per second. If you were consciously aware of that, you would go crazy. It's kind of like that Superman movie where he's in school and Clark Kent starts seeing all these things and he goes and hides in the closet because it's overwhelming to his sensory, to his nervous system. It's sensory overload. And so there's 3 snipers that protect that from happening from you. Here's their long sniper rifles, even though it looks more like something else. And what they do is they snipe out D, G, and D is delete, generalize, and distort. It deletes, generalizes, and distorts most of that information. It only allows 120, it lowers the drawbridge with this lever that it pulls and allows 126 bits into this thing we call our brain, our life, our world. And the words you use shape the reality in the world that you live in, okay? So how this works is our brain does not process negatives. What does that matter? I'll explain in a second. What do most people tell themselves? What they don't want. Okay, that's what most people focus on, and that's why they get anxiety. That's why they get anxiety or feel anxiety. Okay? Because when you tell yourself what you don't want to happen, what you don't want to do, what you don't want to focus on, all your brain hears is want. Our brain does not process negatives. If I tell you don't think of a blue tree, the first thing that comes to your mind is a blue tree, unless you've trained yourself, like me, to think of something different when you hear that. You can set anchors with Pavlovian conditioning. What Pavlovian conditioning is, just to clarify, is Ivan Pavlov in 1906, I believe, it might be the specific year, it might be 1904, had this little triangle and he had steaks, he had some dogs, and every time he fed the steaks, every time he would want to feed the dogs the steaks, he would ring the bell and the dogs would eat the steaks. So over time, he took away the steaks, and every time he rung the bell, the dogs were conditioned to think they were going to get steak, so they would start to salivate, okay? So in order to not think of something, you must think of what it is first, all right? So when you tell yourself, I don't want that, all your brain hears is, I want that. You have to get rid of those words out of your vocabulary. Stop saying don't, all right? Say what you want instead. Focus on what you want instead. It's way more empowering. Stop asking the question, what if this doesn't work? Start asking yourself a way more powerful way to frame this question is, how amazing is it going to be when it does work? Okay? You have to get rid of that poverty mentality. Quit swimming in the poverty pool. The waters are cold and dirty and it's like a chemical factory. Quit swimming in that shit and wonder why your life's all mutilated, looking like some creature off of the Ninja Turtles. Who is that guy? Crane? Like, I don't know if that's a good enough impersonation. But what you have to do to hijack this is to first, you have to get a definiteness of purpose. Bruce Lee calls it his chief aim, okay? His chief desire. And it's, what do you specifically want? The key word there, for context, is what. You must be specific. Specific. Specificity matters here. And if you wonder why I'm harping on the syllables, to get this through your brain, all right? Focus on what you want. Don't worry about how it's gonna come. Focus on what? Give your RAS, the reticular activating system, the what, and it gives you the how. Give your brain the strategy, and it gives you the tactics, the steps you need to follow. Because how that works is, remember, it deletes, distorts, and degeneralizes 99.99 recurring % of the information out of your unconscious mind and allows 126 bits to go through consciously, all right? Now, we consciously break that down into chunks, 7 plus or minus 2 things. So you can focus on 5 things if you're really dumb, up to 9 things if you're really intelligent. And both of those have their pros and cons. Intelligent people look for the most hardest way to do things. Like, that's why I like lazy people. They find the easiest way to do things. So you give your brain the strategy, it gives you the tactics. You give it the what, it gives you the how. If you're following, comment following down below in the comments. So you must tell yourself exactly what you want, specifically, and how you'll know when you'll have it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a movie in your head of you getting what you want. Now here's the thing, you have to, like, Mason, I don't have what, yes you do have what you want. The things you have today in your life are the things you used to dream about. I used to dream of being treated like an adult. And funnily enough, I'm treated like an adult every day now. I used to say that all the time when I was 8. My parents would say, don't wish away your childhood. I said, I know better than you, treat me like an adult. And I put on the armor of adulthood, and one day it fit. And it was the scariest day of my life. It's a wake-up call. So you have to step into the movie. You have a situation, you have a goal, a desire, a thing you want to get out of, a thing you want to get in. Make sure this is still recording. Yep. So this is the movie of what? And what you do is you step into a vision. You play this movie inside your head. All right? And you have to step into it and associate and do a kinesthetic feeling. You must feel it. You must hear the sounds. What kind of sounds are in the environment? What does the environment look like? Is the movie black and white, or is it bright and colorful? Is it framed or panoramic? Are the feelings, what do you feel? Are there any smooth surfaces? Does it feel like you're pulling a glass rope? What are the feelings, the textures? What else can you go in? The colors, is it bright? Is it dark? Is it big or small? Like, there's so many different submodalities. These are just characteristics that define these little pieces, these little bits of information, okay? They're encoded. They're encoded. So the submodalities are what shape the movie. And play with the movie until it's one you want to watch. Once you have the movie, you hear all the sounds, you feel all the feelings, you do all that stuff. You must replay that movie over and over and over again, because your reticular activating system is going to say, oh, this is what he wants. I'm going to filter out everything that is not that, and it's only going to show you the steps you need to take. It's going to show you the opportunities you need to pursue, the people you need to meet, the places you need to go in order to get the thing that is what you want. Give your brain the what, it will give you the how, the steps to follow, like I said. All right, quit worrying about the nitty-gritty tactics. Quit thinking and overthinking the how. It's not your job, it's the brain's job. It's a servo mechanism if you've read psychocybernetics. How does a rocket get to space? It learns by failing and getting feedback. There is no such thing as failure, only feedback. Delete that word out of your vocabulary. I hate it. It's stupid. Failure does not exist. Our brain does not process negatives. It doesn't exist. No such thing as failure, only feedback. You learn what works or what doesn't work. A rocket takes off into space and it learns by constantly getting feedback. Oops, going in the wrong direction, iterate. Going in the wrong direction, iterate. Going in the wrong direction, iterate. This is where the whole survival of the fittest, even though that word is the wrong. What he really means in the right and appropriate context for that phrase is the most adaptable, the most flexible in terms of their behavior. If you realize what you're doing is wrong or not working, stop doing it. How you get this is you must make a decision, not pick and choose. Choosing is pick one. Deciding means to cut off from everything else. So in that drawbridge, you cut off everything else that you allow into the castle, that is your brain, that is your life. You defend your palace of prosperity. You are now the protector of it. You remove everything that is not what you want or does not get you there. That is the job of the reticular activating system, okay? So you learn by getting feedback constantly. Oops, going in the wrong direction, correct. Going in the wrong direction, correct. Most people just never take the first step. They never blast off because they're scared of going. Here's the scary part, not going at all. Then you're in 85, you live with regrets, you have diabetes and an ugly, ugly wife, and it's disgusting, okay? You end up with a husband who cries all the time. It's stupid, okay? You learn by feedback. Even if you start going in the wrong direction like a rocket does, you can adjust and pivot. This is more or less the path of a rocket. That squiggly line, it constantly gets feedback. That is how the brain works. That's how you can get what you want, okay? You give your brain the what, it gives you the how. Trust yourself. I know it's a foreign concept to you. For some reason you don't believe I'm not worthy enough, or other people have reminded you that, but you did this in your past. You can never get over that. In tomorrow's video, I'll show you how to disregard the opinions of lesser and inferior people. Does that mean you're better than them? No, they just can't see your vision. They weren't prescribed those lenses to look through, okay? Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. A lot of these people just want to protect you because they love you and they don't want to see you in pain. Does that mean they're right? No, absolutely not, okay? They can't see the vision that was prescribed to you. All right? Those are the glasses you put on. I'll explain that more in a video tomorrow. So if you know what you want, if you have your chief aim, your definiteness of purpose, I'll put mine in the comments. Go comment yours. I want to see what you want. That way I can comment back and say, hey, that's a great vision, or give you some validation and permission to stop playing so small, stop hiding. Or if it's a shitty vision, like, I just want more success. What does that even mean, Kobe Bryant? So I'll tell you if your vision sucks. So if you're open to some feedback, that way you can adjust and pivot to where I believe you deserve to go, which is to prosperity. That's what we're all fighting for, right? The chance to live our lives how we see fit, rather than how the IRS, the government, the school systems, and ugly people tell us to. So screw that shit. If you're ready to stop playing small, comment your chief aim, your definiteness of purpose, and I'll help you out along the way. So lace up and let's go, and happy awesome party people. I will see you on the next one.